Welcome to B.NEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with B.NEWS Director Rich Hosford, B.NEWS reporters Tad Stefanak and Varys Conley, Peter Brown with the weather, Gretchen Carey with Community Calendar, and Anthony Matos with sports. Thank you for joining us. In breaking news, Chief Thomas Brown reports that the Burlington Police Department has identified the driver that struck an officer on Beacon Street last week. On Thursday, July 14th at about 10 a.m., an officer who was working a private construction detail was struck by a car in the area of number 26. The officer had signaled for the car to stop as it approached the construction site, but the driver attempted to drive around and struck him. The car did not stop and continued northbound toward Woburn. An investigation determined that the driver was an 89-year-old female from Woburn and that she did not act with criminal intent. The Burlington Police Department issued the driver a civil motor vehicle citation and filed a request with the Registry of Motor Vehicles for revocation of her license. The officer was treated for minor injuries at Leahy Hospital and Medical Center and then released. In another Burlington Police Department story, the Burlington Police are warning residents in the Fox Hill Road area to check their bank accounts if they have mailed any checks from their residence in the last months due to multiple reports of theft. The Burlington Police has received several reports of uttered checks over the past week, a notice from the department states. All of the victims had placed envelopes in their mailboxes containing checks and lifted the red flag indicating they had mail waiting to be picked up. According to police, the checks were taken from the mailboxes sometime between June 20 and July 7. They were then altered and deposited by the suspects. If you reside in the Fox Hill Road area, or anywhere in Burlington, and have mailed any checks using the method described above over the past month, the Burlington Department recommends that you review your bank statements to ensure no outgoing mail was stolen from your mailbox. If you discover that a check you wrote has been altered, please contact your bank immediately and the Burlington Police to report it. Altering stolen checks to fraudulently cash them is known as check washing and is a common scheme in which various chemical washers are used to remove ink from the checks, creating a blank check that suspects can then fill in however they want. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service reports that more than $1 billion in counterfeit checks and money orders are recovered each year. Anyone who believes they have had mail stolen or checks fraudulently cashed is encouraged to contact the department by calling 781-272-1212. Good idea to get your bank account online so that you can review that on a daily basis when you're writing out checks. According to health experts and multiple media reports, the COVID-19 virus is on the rise again due to the presence of the BA.5 variant. According to the Globe, experts disagree on whether BA.5 is more contagious or troublesome than previous subvariants. The numbers of the new confirmed cases in Massachusetts shows the Commonwealth is no exception. According to the Mass Department of Public Health, on Thursday there were 10,250 new confirmed cases reported during the past 7 days, bringing the total to 1,793,000 total confirmed cases. More locally, Burlington has seen an increase in new cases over the summer. According to Mass DPH, which issues a weekly report showing the number of new confirmed cases over a 2-week period, the town had 76 new cases reported on June 30. It had 79 new cases reporting on July 7 and 93 cases on July 17. In the latest report released on July 21st, Burlington showed 96 new cases over that 2-week period. The Globe also reports that these numbers may not be reflective of the whole picture because many more people are testing at home and not necessarily reporting positive results to the state, particularly if the symptoms are mild. The Burlington Select Board issued 1-day liquor license suspensions to 2 Burlington restaurants after they failed recent police stings meant to test compliance with laws meant to prevent the serving of minors. As reported by BNEWS, the Burlington Department announced in May their plans to conduct liquor license compliance checks at all businesses that hold a license to ensure compliance. On Monday evening, it was reported by the board, to the board, that 2 businesses, the Treasury and Border Cafe, failed the check. The failure was a first for both businesses. Under Burlington's alcohol policy, an establishment that has first-time violation will have its liquor license suspended for 1 day. Town Administrator Sagarino stressed that the town takes oversight of its liquor licenses and compliance with identification checks very seriously. Here he is.
As you know, the town considers the serving of alcohol to be very serious business and a privilege. We take it very seriously. So we want all the residents to know that on a regular basis we perform alcohol compliance checks on our licensed establishments. And the police department very recently had done one, and unfortunately we have 2 license holders that failed that exam. I just wanted to let the public know that we are on top of this, and we do on a regular basis check these establishments for compliance, and we do have an outstanding record in town of compliance.
The proliferation of licenses over the past several years, it's become even more important for the department to have a stiff compliance program. Participants in the Burlington Educational Summer Theater, or B.E.S.T program, have been hard at work rehearsing for their production of the musical Newsies. BNEWS director Rich Hosford went to meet with some of the actors and the director and has this preview of the play.
The Burlington Educational Summer Theater, or B.E.S.T, the program that teaches aspiring young actors from 4th to 9th grade what they need to know to take the stage with flair and confidence, is back with a new production for the 2022 season. This year's performance will be Newsies Jr., a musical based on the 2011 screenplay by Bob Zadiger and Noni White that was inspired by the 1992 movie of the same name. Newsies tells a story based on a real-life event of children employed by Joseph Pulitzer who were exploited by the newspaper magnate for too long and decided they had enough. In 1899, they formed a union and went on a 2-week strike that effectively stopped distribution of 2 major newspapers and ended when they received the concession the company would buy back unsold papers. It's a classic underdog story that the director of the play believes will leave the audience inspired.
Well, I actually think the experience, for me at least, and for the audience as well, will go right along with the story, because when this beautiful, amazing, full-fledged story is brought to the stage by these little small children, it really kind of accentuates that plot line that the little guy can really do anything. You're never too small to make a difference. And to see these, kids from 4th grade up to 9th grade coming out and pulling off this very adult show is just going to be amazing, and I hope that sort of reinforces that you're never too small to make a big impact.
Of course, the strength of any musical is the music, and music director Jonathan Pluff believes the composers for this production were right on the mark.
The music was written by Alan Menken and Jack Feldman, and they just did an incredible job at capturing not only the essence of the time, but some of the style of the music of the time. Trumpet is very prominent in this, and I feel like trumpet is just sounds like that time.
I asked a couple of the young actors their thoughts on the play.
I think it's a really inspirational play. I think it can teach a lot of morals to people of any age.
Honestly, I think it's a really exciting play. I didn't expect to get the role I got, and to have this role in this play is really exciting for me.
I also asked about the characters they will bring to life on stage.
Well, he was a real person, but in the show he's definitely more exaggerated and kind of sinister, especially in the end. He's very full of himself, and he stands tall, and he's poised, and he's praised for that, and he's praised for having such a large ego, which is so hard to play, but it's fun.
He's really shy at first, but then once further into the show, he gains a lot more confidence, like in the song Seize the Day. He finally finds an identity.
Participants in the B.E.S.T program said they have loved the experience.
Going really well. Everyone's super nice, and I feel like all the directors and counselors are really supportive and help you practice well on how to become a better actor in general.
It's really awesome. I've made so many friends since the first year I've been here, which was 5 years ago now. And it's really cool to watch people grow and evolve.
The directors said they were impressed with the passion and dedication of their performers.
This is my first year working with this group, and they're phenomenal. I didn't know what to expect coming in. I just knew that we had a lot of them. We had a lot of them, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but their talent is phenomenal. Their work ethic, their excitement and enthusiasm is just incredible, and it's just been so great to work with them and to see them learn this music and this show in a week and a half. We have almost the entire show.
I have to second what James, I think, said earlier, just watching these kids grow up from coming up from the workshop program for the lower elementary and then into this program, and, you know, being with us for a few years, seeing the progress and how hard they work has just been such a delight.
Newsies Junior will be performed on Saturday, July 29th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, July 30th at 2 p.m. in the Fogelberg Auditorium in Burlington High School. Tickets are sure to go fast, so get yours at burlingtontheater.com or by calling 781-A-FUN-TICK. From the Fogelberg Auditorium, I'm B.NEWS Director Rich Osborne.
At Monday night's Select Board meeting, Burlington Director of Economic Development, Melissa Tintakalis, gave the board a presentation about what her office has been doing to help foster economic growth in the Mall Road and Middlesex Turnpike areas, including announcing a $50,000 grant from the state. Tintakalis called the area the major commercial hub of Burlington and started the presentation by outlining the details of what is currently located there, pointing out that it is dominated by retail, as many people think. She said the area is 61% office, 23% retail and restaurants, 7% hotels, 4% industrial, 4% medical, and 1% residential. She added that currently there is about 9.6% vacant space in the area's office buildings, a number that aligns with similar towns and cities in the state. Tintakalis then outlined activities her office has done in regards to this area. These include working with the Urban Land Institute and Mass Development to create a detailed report. They have also engaged with the local hotels to build stronger relationships, worked on expanding outdoor seating to benefit restaurants, and helped get zoning change to allow for more experiential type businesses, especially at the mall. She then spoke of the grant that was just being announced that evening, saying the Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs had awarded the town $50,000 based on the work that has been done to date on the Mall Road corridor. This will allow the town to start planning how to make the area more resilient in the future. Tintakalis said one possible initiative included reevaluating unused parking lots in the area for possible future development. Some of these, especially if the town would like to approve lab space for life science companies, would require zoning changes. There was an event at Burlington-based medical device company Cyfox, hosted by Advanced Manufacturing at the Mass Tech Collaborative, to announce a new grant from the Massachusetts Manufacturing Innovation Initiative. Mass always likes a lot of names in their titles. To help the company produce at-home medical diagnostic devices. B.NEWS Director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
On Wednesday morning, a group of government officials, local business leaders, and representatives from academia gathered at medical device company Cyfox on Terrace Hall Avenue in Burlington for a ceremony hosted by the Center for Advanced Manufacturing and the Mass Tech Collaborative, celebrating a roughly $681,000 grant to the company from the Massachusetts Manufacturing Innovation Initiative, otherwise known as M2I2. The grant was meant to help ramp up production of Cyfox's medical device that merges biochemistry and photonic chip technology to enable point-of-need and at-home health diagnostics. Similar devices used for decades can cost up to $500,000 and are used primarily by medical centers and hospitals, while Cyfox aims to sell its device for only $300. Co-founder Diedrich Vermeulen explains how it works.
It's a blood arm collection, and it's virtually painless. And then you insert it, you have a reader device at home, and then you insert it with a cartridge inside of the reader, and then after about 15 minutes, you get a result about your blood biomarkers. So if you're relatively healthy, you can buy one of our Cyfox devices. You can then do a blood diagnostic at home without going to the doctor, without the venous draw, and you can get biomarker information, and the most important is the blood biomarkers, and you can start optimizing those by changing your diet, working out more, having more steps, sleeping better, and every month, for example, you can measure your blood biomarkers and create this very tight feedback loop to optimize your health.
The grant presented on Wednesday will help the company make wide-scale production of the device a reality.
Yeah, so with the grant, we're building a pilot line to create the first batches of cartridges in order to make everything in-house and really get our manufacturing of cartridges to the next level and scale up production.
Those who presented the grant said the event was a great example of different organizations coming together for a common goal.
We do business in Massachusetts, a collaboration of business, academia, and government working together to advance our technology ecosystems, to really push the science, grow our workforce. And so we do events like this to make these grant announcements, and this is a very important grant, but it does highlight who collaborates on this work and how we get it done. So it's a really nice event, a really important grant for us.
This announcement here in the photonic space, which aligns perfectly with the life sciences industry in Massachusetts, is really about that next generation technologies and how can we support the growth of these technologies that lead to next novel innovations, as well as a lot of job growth in the state.
Finally, after taking a tour, the visitors said they were impressed with what they saw.
Today was really interesting. It's, it can lead to something that is, we showed us a $100,000 machine down to now a $300 machine that can run the same amount of tests, bring this technology to our homes so that we're testing quickly on site and helping improve the overall health of our community.
It's really amazing. I mean, to have this much innovation sort of across sector in life sciences and photonics under one roof, right, with all these incredibly capable people using technology we've helped to fund. It's just, this is how the magic happens. You know, the state coming together and saying advanced manufacturing is important for us, to commit $100 million to our M2I2 program, to make this grant with innovative companies, and then have the type of collaboration I talked about before. It's awesome to get out and see it in person, see the investment at work, and see how the company's going to use this to grow and innovate.
At SciFox in Burlington, I'm B.News Director Rich Hosford.
Current temperature conditions are making air pollution an increasing issue. Recent BHS graduate and pilot Dan Nguyen decided to make his senior project about the subject as it relates to air travel. B-News reporter Veris Conley spoke with him and has this report.
It's a bird. It's a plane. Wait, nope, yep, it's a plane. With the Burlington High School seniors finishing up their tenure a few months ago, we wanted to catch up with BCAT volunteer and recent Burlington High School graduate Dan Nguyen to ask him about his senior project. As a holder of a pilot's license, Dan wanted to make his senior project all about the environment and how it ties to the skies and the mechanical wonders that occupy them.
So the senior project didn't really focus too much on me being a pilot itself. It was more just the fact that oh, I'm a pilot and this is a problem in the industry that I will be going into. So I kind of just wanted to tackle that a little. And for the most part, the fact that it's something that I'm passionate about, aviation, and it's a real big problem.
With an important message in mind, we also wanted to know how Dan felt being a pilot and what led him down this path.
I don't really know. It's just been kind of a thing I wanted to do. Kind of maybe the traveling part, but not really. It's just kind of been every single time I've ever been on a plane trip, because I'm going to somewhere, for example, going on vacation, always is my favorite part of a trip. I always find it exciting for some reason. With
a documentary in hand and years of experience behind and in front of the camera, it seems clear that this pilot is ready for takeoff. This is Veris Connolly for BNEWS Weekly.
At Tuesday evening's school committee meeting, members were given an update on a list of capital projects previously approved by town meeting for the district, and were told many were delayed due to supply chain and workforce issues. Burlington Public Schools Director of Operations Bob Kuna, who provided the update, said the projects are facing the same obstacles that many other construction projects are facing across the country. Projects being delayed include replacing the turf and resurface the track at Varsity Field, replacing the Francis Wyman Playground, putting up 3 new field scoreboards, replacing the Pine Glen HVAC system, installing HVA controls for Marshall Simons Middle School, replacing the Francis Wyman intercom system, and the townwide field master plan. Fortunately, Kuna said none of the delayed projects are anticipated to impact the start of school. He did say some early sports practices may have to take place on fields other than Varsity Field, but they anticipate having the project done before the first home game on September 16th. In the latest Eye on Nature, we look at how people can experience life on a working farm at DRUMLIN Farm, with livestock in the farmyard, where they can learn how crops are sustainably grown and walk the trails exploring a wildlife sanctuary. Let's take a look.
BNEWS Eye on Nature is taking you where you can experience life on the farm at the Mass Audubon Drumlin Farm Wildlife Sanctuary.
Drumlin Farm is a sanctuary that is also a farm. We are a working farm. We have 20, 30 acres of cultivated crops, and we have goats and sheep and chickens for livestock and some cows. And we are also a sanctuary. We run the gamut from agricultural to conservation. It's summertime now, so lots going on in terms of the farm aspect of it. Lots of activity out in the crops fields. The lambs and the kids, the young goats, they're getting bigger, so that's going on. And then we have camp. We run a very large active day camp, several hundred kids a week, and so that's mostly what happens on the farm during the summer. For the adults, this is an interesting place because, in fact, we think that it's almost all families with young kids, but if you come on the weekends, you will definitely see adults. And there's nice trails to walk. We run naturalist walks, I call them, where, you can come as an adult and sign up and just join a walk. We do run some walks throughout the year. Mass Audubon is now in this post-COVID era, or this current COVID era. We are running a large number of online adult programs as well as in-person adult programs. So depending on where you live, you just need to go to the website and look up your local sanctuary. You can look up sanctuaries by area of the state, or you can look through the programs for the whole state. The website is a really good resource to use in terms of finding adult programming. The camp offerings depend on the part of the state you're in terms of which sanctuary the camp is based at. Because Drumlin is a farm, there are a number of age groups that work specifically in terms of farm activities. They work in the garden, they work with the livestock. Sometimes all of them, they'll be a combination of farm activities and natural history activities. We don't have archery and things like that. We have, natural history activities, which get the kids out and about and learning about the wild and having fun at the same time. Depending on the age group, depends on how involved they are. Certain age groups, they definitely have opportunities to learn about farm chores and caring for wildlife and caring for livestock and all those kinds of things. It's interesting. I've been here for many, many years, and I rarely run into anybody who grew up in the area who doesn't say, oh, I went to Drumlin Farm when I was a kid. And I would say, don't discount it because you're not a kid anymore. Drumlin Farm has something for everybody in terms of what's going on and the interactions and the opportunities to see and learn and have fun.
Paying a visit to Mass Audubon Drumlin Farm Wildlife Sanctuary with friends and family is not only a great way to learn and explore, it's a great way to keep an eye on nature.
Motorists in the area of Francis Wyman Road will face additional traffic and inconvenience due to the road being closed for a construction project. The Burlington Engineering Department reports that a contractor started installation of a sewer pipe on Francis Wyman Road on Wednesday, July 20, for the Francis Wyman sewer pump station and force main project that will likely impact traffic quite dramatically, actually. Additionally, the road will be fully closed starting on Monday, July 25, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. The project is expected to take several weeks to complete. The map shown here is the recommended detour. You can find something more complete on the town's website. Signage will be posted to redirect traffic around the area. This September, there will be 4 opportunities to take advantage of the town center pocket park to socialize with friends and neighbors while enjoying a cold beer. Burlington Economic Development Director Melissa Tintakalis was at Monday night's select board meeting for a request of four one-day liquor licenses to hold beer gardens in the park. The events will be each Thursday in September and will run from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. The beer and security for the events will be handled by Boston-based Crafted, a craft beer event company, and the same entity that supplied the beer for the initial beer garden event that kicked off the opening of the park last year. Christine Healy from Crafted said the event would be in a controlled environment with everyone's IDs checked before entering the park, and only people of age being given wristbands that would allow them to purchase adult beverages. Tentacala said that one of the reasons they built the park and are holding events as it is to highlight the locally owned businesses in the town center area and try to provide them traffic, subsequently more business. To that end, she said they are engaging with the food service, restaurants, and eateries to give them an opportunity to sell food at the events. However, if they are unable to meet demand, she said they may enlist food trucks as well. It's been hot out there with temperatures in the 90s for the entire week. To see if that will continue, we go now to BNEWS weatherman Peter Brown for a look at this week's forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Gretchen Carey to see what's happening in Burlington.
Welcome everyone, this is Peter Brown with your weather for the next 7 days. Here we are in the heart of July. We are in the middle of the dog days of summer, as they would call them, and it has definitely been a warm stretch out there in the Burlington area over the past few days with temperatures way up in the 90s. So our real first heat wave of the summer took a little while to get here, but it is definitely feeling like the middle of summer. Now, as we go ahead and we start out our period on Friday, we're going to be seeing temperatures again in the mid-90s, so a good 10 degrees above average, so very warm, very humid out there. Very warm at night if you have to be out and about in the Burlington area, with temperatures only dropping down to the low 70s, and it's going to stay in those low to mid-90s for most of the weekend, cooling off a little bit as we head in towards next week. And then when we get towards the end of our period next Thursday, again, our temperatures at this time of the year should be in the mid-80s. That's where we're going to end up, about average as we round out the period. And of course, you notice as we head further into July, the length of days keep getting shorter and shorter as we head further into summer. So as you go ahead, let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us here in the Burlington area over the next 7 to 10 days in terms of temperatures and precipitation. Looking at our temperature map, looks like they're expecting just about all of the continental United States to see above average temperatures. That includes us here in the Burlington area. That is definitely going to be the case, especially for the first half of our period getting in towards the start of the work week. As we look at our precipitation chances, they're calling for us to have above average precipitation. Now that would definitely be some very welcome news here, as we have some very severe drought conditions here in the Burlington area. We saw a good amount of rain, about half an inch or so around after those thunderstorms that came through a few nights ago, but we definitely need a lot more to recover from that drought. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at that nice weather that we have coming up for the next 7 to 10 days here in the Burlington area. Again, starting on our Friday, your temperatures are going to be very warm, up in the mid-90s. Real midsummer feel out there to the air, so make sure to take it easy out there. It's going to be very hot. That's going to continue throughout Saturday and Sunday with temperatures in the low to mid-90s again. Temperatures start to cool off a bit as we head into the work week, with temperatures getting down into the upper 80s on Monday, and thereafter temperatures get a little bit more comfortable and more seasonable as we round out the period, again with a spot chance of showers here and there on Sunday and Monday, and then again on Thursday. Hopefully that'll bring us some heavier rain showers, maybe try to chip away a little bit at this rainfall deficit we've been seeing here in the Burlington area. So everyone, get out there, have a great week, and enjoy the weather.
Hi, I'm Amy Poehler, and you're watching BCAT. Go Red Devils.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your community calendar. Marcos Valley Music. On Tuesday, July 26th at 11 a.m., the Burlington Public Library will have Marcos for songs, playing, and exploring instruments. Visit burlingtonpubliclibrary.org for more information. Nuts About Knots. Macrame for beginners. On Thursday, July 26th, join Mel from Made by Mel in the Made in Burlington store at Wayside Shopping Center to learn about this fiber art dating back to the 13th century. Visit madeinburlington.squire.site for more on this event. Burlington Educational Summer Theater presents Disney's Newsies Jr.
comes to the Fogelberg Auditorium Friday, July 29th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, July 30th. See Burlington's talented student actors in this rousing true story of newsboys in turn-of-the-century New York City. See Burlington's talented student actors in this rousing true story of newsboys in turn-of-the-century New York City. Get your tickets now by calling 781-A-FUN-TICK or visit burlingtontheater.com. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo was another in our popular category of submitting, highlighting the beauty of nature. It's one of mine that I got from actually the auction at the Garden Club 2 years ago, and shows a raspberry lily. Must be a good year for lilies because I have at least 12 flowers that are just as beautiful as this one. Interesting fact, the raspberry derives its name from either the mid-15th century word raspy, that means a sweet rose-colored wine, or the Anglo-Latin term vinum raspis, or from the Germanic term raspoi, that means thicket. It seems like there's some debate on the matter. We'd like to see your photos. It could be of your summer activities, family and pets, the weather outside your door, anything else you'd like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. We have an update for you on the Burlington Cal Ripken U11 baseball team. They continue to perform really well in the regional tournament in Maine. This week they won their quarterfinal and then went on to beat Marblehead 12-2 in the semifinal game, landing them a spot in the regional finals against Andy Valley. The game was held on Thursday, where unfortunately the team lost. However, it was a great performance overall, and the boys should be proud of their accomplishments. We'll have a more full report with Anthony next week. That's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, Veris Conley, Tad Stefanak, Peter Brown, Gretchen Carey, and me. Thank you for joining us.